Have you ever finished a pipeline review, looked at the forecast, felt reasonably confident about the month ahead, and then watched half those deals disappear 3 weeks later? Most founders do not have a sales problem, they have a pipeline discipline problem. Every week they spend an hour talking about deals, but nobody leaves with clear decisions. Nothing changes. The forecast stays wrong. The same stalled opportunities show up week after week. Structure that fixes that. Before we jump in, I'm Mark Rice, founder of Rice Revenue Consulting. Over the last decade, I've led sales teams, built revenue processes, and helped founders turn technical expertise into commercial traction. One of the biggest mistakes I see early stage founders make is not in selling, it is in how they review their pipeline. Most pipeline reviews create activity. Very few create decisions. And if your pipeline review is not producing decisions, it is probably not producing revenue. The key shift, one lesson I learned in both the Navy and in sales leadership, is that meetings exist to create decisions. If nobody leaves with a decision, the meeting was probably unnecessary. The expression, "it could have been an email." A pipeline review is not a reporting exercise, it is a decision-making exercise. The question is not, where are our deals? The question is, what specific actions are we taking next week to move each deal forward? And what do we need to do right now in order to make those actions possible? Framework overview. The structure has 4 parts. Part 1, what moved forward this week? 5 minutes. Part 2, what is stalled and why? 10 minutes. Part 3, confirmed actions for next week. 10 minutes. Part 4, pipeline health and kill decisions. 5 minutes. Overall, 30 minutes every week. Decisions over discussion. Let me walk you through each one. Part 1, what moved forward this week? 5 minutes. Start with the wins, but define them strictly. A deal moved this week if only 2 things are true. It advanced to pipeline stage and it has a confirmed next step with a date. Both, not one. Here's the mistake founders make in this section. They count their own activity as movement. We sent a proposal. We left a voicemail. That is motion, not progress. A deal advances when the buyer does something, agrees to the next meeting, confirms the evaluation step, puts a date on the calendar. If there is no confirmed next step with a date, the deal did not move. No matter how busy you were, for each deal that advanced, capture 5 things: the prospect, the deal size, the stage it advanced to, the next confirmed action, and the date that action happens. 5 minutes. Then move on. Celebrating too long is how 30 minutes becomes 90. Part 2, what stalled and why? 10 minutes. This is the longest section because this is where the truth lives. The definition is just as strict. Stalled means no stage advancement in 7 days and no confirmed next action. By that definition, most pipelines have more stalled deals than founders want to admit. Good. Now you can see them. For every stalled deal answers one question. What is the buyer's reason this has not moved? In their words, not yours. Not, they're busy. It's not, it's summer. It's not, they said soon. Those are stories you tell yourself to make the forecast feel better. If you cannot state the buyer's actual reasons, then that is your answer. You don't know. And we don't know is useful because it defines next week's action. Find out. Part 3, confirmed actions for next week. Another 10 minutes. Now, every surviving deal gets a specific action, not follow-up. Follow-up is not an action. It is a placeholder where an action should be. Who, what, when in writing. I will send Priya the revised pricing by Tuesday and propose Thursday at 2 for the walkthrough. It is an action. It has an owner, a deliverable, and a date. And here's the discipline that makes the whole system work. Next week, part 1 opens by checking the actions you wrote down this week. The review grades itself. That loop, commitments written, commitments checked, is what separates a pipeline review from a pipeline conversation. One warning, do not write actions that belong to the buyer. Waiting on their legal team is not your action, it's whatever you can do to make their step easier. Sending the summary their champion needs. Offering the call that unlocks the deal. You own what you control. Part 4. Pipeline health and kill decisions. 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes. Zoom out. Look at the total pipeline value against last week. Growing, holding, flat, shrinking. That number matters less than the trend. A pipeline that shrinks 3 weeks in a row is telling you something about your prospecting that no individual deal will. Then make the hardest decision in the review. For every deal that keeps stalling, ask, if this were not already in our pipeline, would we add it today? If the answer is no, kill it. Killing a deal is not losing a deal. It can come back the day that there's a real next step. What hurts is you keeping it, because every dead deal you carry inflates the forecast. And when you make hiring decisions, spending decisions, and payroll decisions against revenue that was never coming, a fat pipeline feels safe. An honest one keeps you alive. Closing challenge. Before you go, here's my challenge. Open your pipeline today. Find the one deal you know should be removed. That one has been sitting there for weeks because removing it feels uncomfortable. Kill it. Then come back and tell me in the comments how long it had been actually sitting there. If you want the exact worksheet we used to run this review, download it at ricerevenue.com/foundertools. And if this was useful, subscribe. There's a new video every Tuesday built for founders doing exactly what you are doing. I will see you in the next one.